Let me start doing the live stream. Live stream should be up, and I hate clearing my throat on mic. It sounds unprofessional, but I do it seemingly all the time.
Do you?
Yeah, I do
I
a
don't
lot.
know.
I do a lot. It bugs me. 1 second. Checking out the Mattermost.
I might have to reload my chat. It shows that I'm the only person there.
Oh, I'm not there, but there's always somebody there. You know you're in the wrong chat. There's always at least Highlander and those guys. Loading.
That's more like it.
Okay, surely I messed that up. So let me
Clear my throat.
do this just to go nuke and pave because it always does that. Okay.
I got an issue with my Linux box here. My boot drive's only 500 megabytes, and it's full.
Yes, it would be full.
Why would it only allocate 494.5 megabytes for an important drive?
No, boot typically has nothing in it.
It's dev sda1/boot.
Yeah, boot's typically almost abandoned. All it has is your grub configuration in it.
Yeah, I got a bunch of abbies
and the kernel
and interid images.
Yeah, and
memtest.
One of the commands. Give me a second here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste this to you. I'm going to ask you to not run it right now.
Yeah.
Copy. Come over to here. Come over to here. So I run that all one command. It asks you to enter your password once. And if you separate the ampersands out, it does a update, then it does an upgrade, then it does a dist upgrade, then it does a auto remove. Auto remove automatically uninstalls and cleans off your system things you don't need, like old kernel versions. So when you run that, your boot should clean up some with more free space.
Oh, just copy all of that into a command line?
Yeah, into a terminal.
Okay.
So what I would say is right now, just copy it out on a text file on your desktop or something.
Yeah, good idea. Handy.
Yeah, I just like doing the updates from the command line just because I have more fine-grained control of how it's doing. That's really the only risk with a Linux system long-term is keeping old kernels around to the point to where they can become a burden.
Yeah, this isn't that.
But I haven't had to go back to a previous kernel version for 7 years, 8 years. It's good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are streaming, we are recording through the transit.
I got a hum coming up. There we go. That fixed that. I got a little fan noise coming out of that box there. Hey, Android App Addict. Listen, let me start over. Hey, Android App Addict listeners. This is episode number 471 of the Android App Addict Show. My name is Eric Arduini, the manager. I am here hosting in place of Mark. I got over my chin issues from last week. My beard ups. I can do beard ups all day long now. I got some Monsanto beard dip, which is really bringing out the root system and keeping all the unnatural things from coming into the forest or crop or whatever we got going on here. And it's looking good. I got some carrot bottom brush in orange color for set it off so it matches with my blue eyes really good. And Mark, I think he went back to the drawing boards and he's just rethinking parts of his life on how he can come into this. Well, he actually has to move to Illinois to join this competition, so I think he's debating that. So he may be in Zillow and actually visiting some houses tonight. I really don't know where he's at. Door, what are you up to, man? How's your beard coming?
Not good. It's almost like I have a disease that causes it to not grow as it should, or as I believe it should.
You have a disease? Is it a Bic Gillette disease?
No, it's called working in an office that frowns upon manly men being manly.
Oh. You can still cut wood without a beard. I did it for years. And as a matter of fact, I haven't even cut any wood since I've started this process, which is fine because I really don't feel like cutting wood right now.
Gotcha. And I'm just mentally preparing to have the week off, going down to Disney, Magic Kingdom, Epcot Center, something down
Next
there.
week?
Yeah, next week. Just not Animal Kingdom. I want to go to the gates of Animal Kingdom just to get a photograph, but I don't want to go in the park.
Have you been there before?
Oh yeah. And it was the biggest disappointment in all the parks because everything is more spread out because it's green, it's more green. So everything's more spread out. So you got to walk 3 times farther to go any place you want to go to. They only had like 2 or 3 attractions that I think were worth any time, but literally 2 or 3. And just to get a straw from somebody almost took an argument because they're green, they don't want to give out straws. So there's only a couple places where they have paper straws, not plastic.
Oh, so they dissolve after a while. Can you get through a good drink? The whole refill and everything with one paper straw, or is it breaking down by then?
Well, since we're geniuses and going down in the middle of summer, it's going to be ballistically hot, where a drink's going to only last about 35 seconds for the family.
So, so what's up with the gates? I mean, are they brass and shiny? And why would you go to the gates to check to take a? What did you say? Take a picture of them?
Yeah, there's almost a running gag how you can take a picture at the front of Animal Kingdom. I'll send you a picture after the show.
Oh, so like if you're standing in a certain spot, like holding your arms a certain way, you can be caressing one animal and hugging the other.
No, just taking a funny picture. I'll just say that.
All right. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Well, I'll just watch you on your Instagram as you're posting your whole vacation up for everybody to enjoy with you.
You know me too well, Eric.
I know. I'm social media hog.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna pull the Mark Cockrell maneuver and ask you, hey Eric, do you have any new hardware this week?
Well, I don't know if I have a new Nexus 5X at the last show.
I don't believe you did. I believe you mentioned that it broke, but I don't think you had the new one yet.
Oh, okay,
or the new old one yet.
So I got number 3, and it showed up in the mail. Project Fi took care of me. I mean, they kind of conceded to me a little. I'm like, so are you? I asked her, are you gonna? Oh, I had to give her a shout out too. Her name is Michelle, and we should probably title this show Project Fi something or other. I don't know. Anyway, she she's going to listen to the show, she said. Anyway, everybody at Project Fi is awesome that I've talked to. And she kind of conceded a little bit. She's like, hey, I asked her, I go, so at what point are they just going to start giving us a price break on a new phone, a newer one, one that's not going to break in 6 months? Because this is my third one. Both of them have, I think the first one lasted 8 months. The second one lasted 6 months. Or maybe a little longer on both. But anyway, they're covered under warranty. They next day it to you. You next day it back. A super simple process. I mean, it's a little crappy that you have to go a day or two without a phone. And of course, it was a day that I needed my map because I was going into somewhere in Chicago I hadn't been before. But I just used an old Note 4 that I keep around that I haven't for some reason got rid of. And I downloaded offline maps on it and just threw it in the car and used the GPS. And it was every bit as good without the phone calls. So that worked out for me for that day. And moved along. The phones they send you, they say they're refurbished. You wouldn't know that they weren't brand new. They still got stickers all over them. There's no scratches, no blemishes of any type anywhere on them. But they you just know that their days are numbered as soon as you turn it on. It's kind of like Microsoft Outlook or something,
Well, I hate to say, well, first off, do you know who the manufacturer of that device was? Was that HTC?
No, I believe it's LG. I think it says it right on the back. Let me pull this apart here. I keep it in a case.
Well,
It is LG.
It was LG. Okay. I asked because also on the other AAA, the second to premiere AAA, all about Android, their guy said he was like 18 months past warranty, and they basically did the same thing. So I'll say you're not the only one. You're not close to the only one having this issue. They have to know that. I look at this as almost like the first Microsoft Xbox Red Ring of Death fiasco, only not as publicized because they just don't sell as many of these.
Sure.
My logic is there is some kind of thing that got past QA testing that is just some kind of failure where over time it go boom.
It's a real weird problem because it's a heat problem from what I understand, but it only happens. So my phone starts to get slow, all right, I got 100 and some apps on there. I'm just gonna restore to factory, right? Both times that it locked up is when I do that. It was running. It was just running a little slow before I did it, and then it just wouldn't come out of a boot loop after that. Both times.
Yeah,
No
I would
matter
venture to I would venture to say the problem is on the baked in eMMC hard drive, if that's the problem, because where it stores from is a partition that only gets written to when you do updates.
Mm.
So it wouldn't shock me if a week earlier you got an update and this issue would have gone away or taking a couple steps back.
I don't know. I'm always on the Google beta program, so I'm always running the bleeding edge operating system. So I've been on Android O for a while, and it has been through numerous updates on O before that happened. And maybe that's part of it. It just there's something that's not getting written correctly. I don't care. I'm still with it. I'm still with them. I didn't want to upgrade to a Pixel anyway. I'll be happy when the Pixel 2 comes, whatever that is.
Why?
There's some why?
Yeah, why?
But because this is not a fast phone. I mean, this is the most basic phone they had 2 years ago now, and it feels that way. It feels like it.
Okay, so what's going to be so much better about the Pixel 2 that we don't know really anything about yet? Except
It,
except that it's going to be also made by LG.
is it?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, at least that's what all the rumors are saying.
I'm okay with that. They keep taking care of this one. I don't know if there's anything special, but I for this show at least, I would like to run something that's gonna run every high-end game. I mean, I would say this is slower than my Note 4 as far as specs and power. The Note 4 probably would hand this one's butt to it, because I really felt when I had the 6P, which is a superior phone to this, it was right on par with the Note 4 as far as speed and features and things. Um, this one is lesser, but it's also smaller. I do like the size of it. If they have a Note or a Pixel 2S and a Pixel 2 XL, I'll probably go with the S. I like that I can more easily mount it onto my bicycle, in my car. It doesn't take as much magnets to hold it on my dashboard, and I do like I do like the size of my hand. It's easy to get all the way across. The screen looks decent. I mean, it's not the greatest screen and it's not the biggest screen, but it works for me.
Yeah, the rumor mill is they were going to make 3 Pixel 2 devices, the S, the XL, and then the XXL. The rumors are that the middle one is now not coming out, only the smaller one and the bigger one. And everyone's expecting the XXL to be somewhere around 5.7 to maybe even upwards of 5.9, which I would be shocked, deathly shocked if they do that. Um, what I'm scared about is these 2 phones literally being $1,000 a piece.
What? No.
I'm with the Samsung 8s being
Hmm.
over $799. I expect the new Pixel 2s to be every bit of $800 plus because the first Pixels were 680 plus, I think, on the low end.
Yeah. Yeah. And these, I think this was the 5X was 450 and the 6P was 550 when they first came out. And I
Yeah.
got them both when they very first came out.
Yeah,
Um,
and I'll say this, don't get me wrong. Every single person I know on Fi swears by it like it's a cult. Like it is the best thing ever. Here, just drink this Kool-Aid, you'll understand kind of mentality. Um, if I had access to Wi-Fi, and I know I've said this before, if I had access to a Wi-Fi at work, I would have
mhm.
probably already been on Fi.
That's the whole thing for me. I'm on Wi-Fi at work and home, and my last bill was $25, tax included,
Wow.
a
Yeah,
month.
I use 25 plus gigs a month, where if I was on Fi, I'm pretty sure my bill would be over $300 a month.
Right. And I changed my habits. I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it, but with Fire month to month, if you can't do it, go back to somewhere else. It's not like you're locked in or anything like that.
Right. And that is tempting me, I will not lie. What I also wish was that they would just expand it to more phones because
Yes.
I like the phones I like, and I've became like a snobby connoisseur of imported beer almost to the kind of same degree to where anytime I walk in a phone store and I look at all the phones, I look at them like I'm royalty and they're peasants almost like, look at that. Funny somebody would buy that thing.
Yeah.
because I have so much freedom with my phone. My phone,
American phones.
right? Because every device I buy seems to expect me to act like a administrator on it and not just a user, where I have what I consider higher end possibilities than what I see in most American phones, like literally locking down apps in the OS, not letting it connect to 3G or Wi-Fi, like built-in firewall rules, built-in when I close the screen, kill these apps kind of rules. And I'm really becoming to like that a lot. But you never know what that device is going to be that's going to bring me back into the fold. Um, I don't know. I doubt the Pixel 2 is going to be it just because of price. I've had a really hard time spending more than $500 for any phone. Even if I expect to use it for more than a year, I still have a hard time
Yeah. I mean, that's a
doing
tough
that.
pill to swallow. It really is.
You
Especially when
know,
you're used to using international phones that don't cost that much. I mean, if you're used to a Samsung subsidized phone from Verizon,
yeah,
then whatever your bill every month's going down. So here's an option that may be coming door. I put a link in the chat. Um, the Project Fi data only SIM
yeah.
that you can get. So since I've already got this phone, I could get a data only SIM and maybe put that in another phone. Um, and use it with a Google Voice number, I'm thinking.
I can tell you, I'm pretty sure they really do intend this to only be in tablets, kind of thing. You might be able to get away with it in a phone. Yeah, I see with Google Fi, you're expected to port your Google Voice number to them.
I don't use my Google Voice number at all on my Project Fi phone.
Right. So I mean, $10 a gig rate. To be honest, that isn't good. It isn't
No?
bad. It isn't bad at all, but to me, it isn't good.
For someone
I mean,
so okay, so my use case is my son doesn't have a phone at all
right,
right now. And if I could give him this phone, he would at least have a phone somewhat. He doesn't get calls. He's not gonna make much calls.
right,
If he does, he'll probably be at home anyway, so it's not gonna use any data.
right. Well, and he's going to
Um,
Snapchat or whatever.
yeah, probably not.
Well, besides phone calls, doing other kind of textual or picture chats back and forth. See, for normal people, I believe it's unbelievably acceptable, $10 a gig, because most people I don't think would use more than 3 or 4 gigs a month.
Right, and
You
I
know,
always stay under 1 now. I've just curbed that's the way I roll. I mean, I'm not missing anything. I'm not missing a YouTube video or a Netflix or a HBO Go. I'm watching it all. I'm just doing it all on Wi-Fi.
right? The only question is this a general SIM? Will it work in any device that could work on the network?
Well, it's going to have to be a CDMA, right? Because these these carriers that Google Fi uses is T-Mobile, Sprint, and US Cellular. I
Right.
believe those are CDMA ones.
I always get it backwards. I know one's GSM, one's CDMA, one's
Right.
Verizon and Sprint, and AT&T, T-Mobile is all the other ones.
Yeah, I think Verizon, Sprint, US Cellular, those are all the CDMAs.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea, and I don't think it would cost much to experiment with this. You know,
Yeah, it'd be worth a try, I guess. I'll probably sign up later tonight just to say I tried and it worked or it didn't.
yeah, and it does say, don't forget, it is a data only SIM. That means you cannot use that means you cannot use the proper phone functions without some sort of hacky Google Dialer slash Hangouts workaround. So they verify that you can use that. And to be honest, I don't know who would care
I'm
if
not above that at all.
I don't
And
think anybody is.
that's not a hard thing to get set up.
Right.
I don't feel.
Yeah. And also says that you also might have to futz around with the APN settings. I haven't had to mess with an APN setting since seems like
Right.
2012 maybe. So
Yeah.
that's just something to keep in mind. Another Google hardware news thing. I want to ask you a question, and I love you, Eric, but this is a total setup.
Okay. I,
Goo- I don't know if you heard a guy on LinkedIn, because this is how apparently news spreads now, changed his profile on LinkedIn to show he used to work for Apple. Now he works for Google, and supposedly he's a very high end chip designer. So now all of the speculation is that Google hired somebody to design slash create their own processor chips, just like Apple does in all of their devices. All of their processors in those devices are ARM based chips where they own a license to basically develop their own versions of those chips.
I would say a chip designer would be used for a totally different new device, like the Google Home 2 or something.
Well, a lot of people believe it's going to be what they assume now to be the Pixel 3 because the Pixel 2 think cannot be that far off. So everyone is speculating saying it's going to be the Pixel 3 device.
So
Well,
then that would separate. Is this a chip that's going to separate the Android away from all the other phone carrier companies? I mean, and they will have. Oh, yeah.
Well,
I hope not.
you're on my line of thinking. I listen to all these people thinking how great it is, how spectacular it is, and as an end user, because most of these people are speaking from a journalistic point of view, in my opinion. Yeah, it's going to make for great stories for them to write. It's going to make great clickbait headlines for them to write. As an end user, as a consumer, I think this is horribly, disgustingly nauseous type news. It literally makes me sick to my stomach hearing this kind of news. And it's
It would be
because
bad.
it'd be horrible for us consumers because what that means is Google could, I'm not going to say would, could want to make devices because remember when this Pixel first launched, they said explicitly, you will never have this Google Assistant on any other device. That was their dream. They stated that on stage. That was one of the first press events I've ever watched, and it made me sick to my stomach when they said that. They wanted to try to push people to buy a Pixel claiming some kind of exclusivity. Well, if they have a custom chip, true custom chip in their device, they will be able to develop features that they can basically stick their nose up at every other phone manufacturer and say, you can't have this. And it's
Yeah,
going to,
I'm gonna guess that if they did that, it would not be called Android. It would be Fuchsia, or whatever that some other operating system would be running on that, not Android. Android would be for the everybody else. They would be like an iPhone, I guess, on its own cloud.
well, there's a million variations of how this can unfold. What I'm stating right there is the worst possible way it could. There could be, we're going to do this custom chip, and you manufacturers, if you want it, you just pay us a nominal fee and you can put it in all your devices too. That could be but I doubt it. Or like you're thinking, they could make a whole new spectrum of devices. Because my logic is if they do use fuchsia on something, it's going to genuinely be a new type of hardware, like maybe like what you were thinking, a Google Home 2, you know.
Here's my optimistic view is since they haven't been able to get it together and get this done yet, they brought this guy in just to make sure that the next Nexus 7 comes and it's going to really be above and beyond everything else.
Okay. Yeah, and that's just a self-satisfying
That is my
belief there.
optimistic view because
Tablets are dead.
well,
Tablets are dead.
my Nexus 7 from 2012 is not dead.
I know. Well,
And
no,
my
no manufacturer except Microsoft and Samsung are really putting any attention towards tablets right now, and they're both really not. Samsung is pushing their stuff towards higher end Chromebooks, and Microsoft is throwing their money away towards these ridiculous Surface tablets.
yeah.
So I mean,
Uh,
and I don't want them to be dead, Eric. I don't want them to be dead, but
right.
people aren't buying them.
Yeah, well, once everybody has a large screen in their hand on a phone carrier, they don't really need one, do they? I've sheltered my family from those. Mostly because I'm poor and I can't afford multiple, data plans and things like that. So, they work really well in my house, and honestly, I use I like using my Amazon Fire 8. When I wanna, read something or kick back, with a little larger screen, it's nice. I mean, it doesn't have any power, but I'd like it, and I don't wanna buy a 3-year-old Google Pixel tablet. I want something if I'm gonna buy a tablet, it's either gonna be super cheap or good, one of the 2, not
Right.
old.
Well, I mean, their last tablet was that Pixel C that
Mhm.
I never heard anything really good about. I mean, people said it was usable. Some people said it was nice. Some people said it scratched really easy. The keyboard was weird. I never really heard anything really positive about it, and I surely did not hear a lot of people talking about it.
And it was
Here's one.
really expensive,
Well,
for
it
not
was
being that great.
right.
It
Well,
was overpriced.
here's the line in the article that told me that this guy, when he came to Google or Google approached him, whatever, he literally could write his own check because the bottom line says that this guy is personally listed as himself inventing and patenting over a dozen things related to mobile processors. Okay, this is no
Hmm.
mediocre guy. This is no middle of the road guy. This guy is some sort of sharp, like shooting hitman. This guy is like elite. So I'm going to be interested to see what they do with him. I'm going to be interested to see what they do. But at the same token, as an end user, every year, as like every year goes on, I get a little bit more nervous about the Goog.
We all do. Yes, I mean, I think everybody does. And it's too bad too because we really want to like them, and they've given us a lot of good stuff for free that we don't use
Well,
enough.
be careful with the usage of that word free. Free is one
Okay,
of those words in the English language. We
okay,
need to develop like 5 words to replace it.
they give us a lot of things that we used to pay for
Yeah.
with money
At,
that
at,
we don't use enough.
right.
Now that it's here, we suddenly don't need it. Or or it could be like Microsoft. We find that we really need it, and then they just stop developing it and throw it away.
Yeah. I will say I have a touch of hardware news, but not really. It's almost a lie. Um, D D brand DBRAND. I
Mhm.
finally broke down and got a D brand. Um,
Nice.
less than $20 after shipping. I want to say $21. I typed in. Well, I went to the site and I typed in Honorate, and looked like they fully supported it. So the choice was between carbon fiber blue or what I call Podnutz green, and I went with the Podnutz green. Um,
Does
really
it have
easy to.
any? Is it a flat green or is there a carbon fiber to it too?
There is no carbon fiber green. There is a little
Scratchy to it.
texture on it, so it's more grippy. Um, if you put this on your device and there's a bubble underneath it, you did something really wrong. I'll tell you
So
because it
okay,
is.
that's what I was gonna ask. I love seeing people put debrand skins on their devices. I've never tried it. So is the process pretty easy? I mean, is it as easy as putting a phone case on your phone?
I would say easier in a lot of respects.
Wow.
Now, the one I have has two super thin green strips going down the side. This whole front piece was connected. They actually sent me two front pieces. One front piece was just the top and the bottom disconnected, but I wanted to try to put the one on with the little strip. So what I did was I had my son make a OK, like a symbol,
Mhm.
hold the one part up in the air as I put the bottom piece on. Then when I had the bottom piece on, I took it out of his hand and I slowly brought it down and put it on the device. Um, it feels like I can literally just go in, peel it off, put it back on, and it
Wow.
sticks just fine. So what my logic is, this is in no shape, way, or form actual protection, except from scratches, of course. This is more a style thing.
Sure.
But it does offer at least protection from your normal scratches, and it does give you a little bit more grip to the device. I'm not going to say it isn't worth $20. It's worth just about $20 is what I'll say. And I really like the feel of it. I really like the look of it. Uh, but my logic is if I get tired, very easy to peel off and put a different color on and just move forward. Um,
Was it just a black phone before?
Yeah, just solid black, and I did have a bumper case. Now, technically, I can still put the bumper case on this because it was transparent on the back. But I think during my trip to Disney, I'm going to leave it like this and see if it survives.
Does that give you any screen protection at all? Does
No,
is there a clear film across? Okay.
nope.
And so was there any with the Honor 8, any like additional color plates and cutouts in the D brand where you could like access like throw a pink H on the back or something like that for
I
Honor like
I didn't notice any of that. You were able to separately pick the front and back. They had the same choices. It looked like, and it looked like roughly 15, maybe 17 choices, going from wood,
Hmm.
something they called dragon scale, carbon fiber, this, and I think like a flat color as well.
Well, so someone in our Google Plus put it was a Steve from across the pond. Can't remember who it was. Had a D brand case on his Pixel, and I saw, he showed the whole kit before he installed it, and it had like the red, green, yellow, and blue colors that he could then put behind the G, and lay that on top of that to make it look official Google, rainbow colorish sort of.
Yeah, I do believe the more popular the phone, the more offerings they have on it. And this is not a popular phone. Again, this is a Huawei Honor 8. This is not a super popular device, but they supported me. So I said, and I did see his device, and I said, it's just about 20. And my logic is when I go down to Disney, if I leave it on a table, it's going to be easier for me to spot.
Sure.
Because
She
really,
got we got
who has a green
orange,
phone?
Dayglow orange or something.
Well, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to make it that bad. Just, acceptable. So that's my Android quote unquote hardware update.
Nice. Hey, we did get an email from Yuka. Mind if I read that now?
More than likely, it's not pronounced Yuka. I did ask him, and I think he's almost pulling my leg. I said, "How do you pronounce your name in text?" And he said, "It's pronounced the same way he spelled it." Well, no,
No,
he changed.
J. He spelled it Jukka, but he pronounced it Yuka, right? Yucca.
Oh,
I'm gonna say Yuka. Yuka Tuomi.
I think you're closer than I am. I will say that.
Okay. Anyway, Yuka, give us another shout at me if I said it wrong. I'm reading it that way though. Yuka says, hey guys, I have a OnePlus 3, and one day I accidentally came across a cool trick in the Android official YouTube app. Normally, I listen to podcasts, naturally, AAA, or music while I'm working. One day I was playing a YouTube video in the official app, and I forgot it was from YouTube. So I turned off the screen, and the video and audio stopped as expected. Then for some reason, I used a OnePlus own gesture and drew a pause sign on the blank screen. Bam! The audio continued while the screen was still off. Wow. So today I tried it. I tried if it would work with a regular headset. It did. Just turn off the screen and press the answer button of your headset, and the audio will continue to play. This also seems to work if you play a video and just switch to your home screen or another app. Just a press of a button and the audio plays again outside of the YouTube app. I don't know if this works on all phones, but I surely hope so. I hope you find this discovery useful. For all I know is that I haven't heard about this trick anywhere before. Cheers and greetings from Finland. Keep up the good work. Sincerely yours, fan for a lifetime, Yuka. By the way, you're the first ones to hear about this cool accidental discovery. And hey, thank you, Yuka. I used to work for UPM Raflatac, which is a Finnish company. We did paper processing, and we made sticky paper, huge rolls of it, the size of cars almost. I don't know. I think I'm spoiled by the YouTube Red. I think I've had these features
Right.
for a long time, but I think it's because of YouTube Red.
Well, and that was the first question I had him, and it wasn't an insulting question. I just asked him, "Do you have YouTube Red?" Because that's one of the features you get with it, and he promptly said, "No, I don't." And because we do have YouTube Red, it's like, well,
Yeah,
I guess it works. I don't know,
I
but
can't. I can't test that because
right. But he did say, um, in a couple more back and forths that it did not work when he tried it with a Bluetooth headset. It only worked with a hardwired headset and with the OnePlus 3 gestures. So the first thing I told him to do was back up the APK. And he thought I meant
oh,
back it up and give it to me so I can share it. No, no, no. I meant back it up for his own sake. Because if tomorrow YouTube figures out this is a bug as far as they're concerned, a unwanted bug, they might fix it and then push the app down, and then you don't have that feature anymore. So I encourage him to back up the APK. Now, you were also pre-show asking about backing up. Okay, there's 3 types of backups in Android. There's Nandroid, which is like sticking a disk in a computer, booting to it, and copying the entire hard drive.
Okay.
There's backing up a app and its settings, and then there's backing up an app. Okay, you not being a root user, the first 2 ways are pointless and useless, and you might as well not do it.
Okay.
Google itself can do some measure of backing up of data and apps. So if there's, app data you need, sometimes Google will do it for you. But APKs, Google will never back up and never want to back up. They always want to ensure you're on the newest of the newest of the newest. So when you do a backup, they don't back up the app. They back up the reference to the app. And then if you restore from their backup, like with a brand new device and the app had an update, you get the new app, not the old one. So
Right.
what the app I use is called AppWererabbit. This was brought back
Yeah.
a
Yeah. I remember that one.
long time on the show. Um,
Hmm.
this is not a magic stick. This will not back up everything, because if it's a paid app, there are certain types of DRM they can put in it, which will stop from happening. But on most non-paid apps, if you just load up AppWererabbit, tap the app, pop-up menu pops up. Third option down is backup APK. So with this app, you can easily in one click back up the APK. It's now going to be on your SD card or your storage in a folder called AppWererabbit Backups. And you just take that APK, email it to yourself, put it in your Dropbox or someplace else so you have it. So if they do update the YouTube app to make this functionality stop, you can restore the old app and it will still work for you. Because this is the kind of feature I can tell you with YouTube Red that I abuse. I
Yeah. No,
constantly hit play on a video, then turn off a screen.
and I was a victim of not doing that recently when I did get the new phone. I chose not to reinstall all of my apps because I like to start fresh, and I don't want it to be slowed down immediately with 100 and some apps right off the bat. So then I pick and choose what I'm putting back in. Well, 2 of the apps I really liked. One was paid, one was free. Both were no longer available for reasons because they're not um, the owner. Well, they were Craigslist apps, and Craigslist doesn't like things being done that was being done. Um, in the chat, going back a little bit, Bodot asked, it wants to know if your D brand skin does it peel off when you go in and out of your pocket with it being that that easily to remove.
I literally just got it today.
Oh, okay.
I honestly can picture it happening. I can picture it happening. Um, but I also picture when I pull it out, it like snapping back on.
Okay. So if it gets, yeah, you get a little bit of lint in there though. It's gonna, yeah,
Well,
you don't want. I can see where he's going with it.
I can too, but what it feels like is I could literally just like wipe it down with water
Like one of
and
those things where you can just wash it off in water. Like, yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
I
no,
mean, that's what it
yeah.
feels like.
Also in the chat room, Bo asks, if he made a comment that if you watch a YouTube video with a Firefox browser on your phone, you can turn off the video and just open another app, and the audio will keep playing. So that's a nice little workaround if your phone doesn't support the um, Yuka's um, uh, little tip there. So if you can't do that, you don't have a OnePlus 3, you can't make those motions. You could try installing the Firefox app. Because I mean, that's YouTube is the new jukebox. I mean, with another spoilage with the YouTube Red, I get play music, so I use play music all the time for listening to music. But if you don't, and most of the kids don't, they unless they're it seems that people my age and older do the Pandora kind of thing, and
Ugh,
um,
I hate
a- a-
Pandora,
and then what's the other one that they use now?
Spotify.
Spotify, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the younger people just are straight YouTube
Well,
for music.
why wouldn't they be?
No, I don't know why. And
I
I don't know
mean,
why the older people like Spotify and not YouTube.
because they were told to like it is my only logic. With YouTube, you literally just type in whatever you want and there it is. You can listen to it. With Pandora, the thing I hate about Pandora is I believe even if you do the paid app and if you say Beatles, the first thing they'll play is like a Rolling Stones song, and then maybe the third song will be a Beatles song. I mean, I just cannot understand how Pandora is still around. They were good back in the day. They did serve their purpose, but these
Right.
days there are so many more direct solutions to when you want to listen to something. You can listen to it. You
Yeah.
don't have to,
Well, I
bounce
mean,
around.
and it's a paid solution though. So I mean, some people do pay for Pandora, but Google Play Music, man, it does not let me down. Roger Waters came out with an album this month,
Right.
and I was gonna buy it on Amazon because it was not available on Google Play Music. Well, I went to buy it on Amazon, and it says you can buy it today, and we'll ship it out tomorrow because it actually doesn't get released till tomorrow. I'm like, oh, well, that's why I can't probably buy it on Play. I'll just wait. Next day, Google Play Music. Yeah, here's this new album. Download it right now. And so I could just listen to it. And then, you want to listen to a radio station based on this song, radio station based on this album, radio station
Right.
based on this artist.
Right. Well, I think this harkens back to what Mark said. I think the kids have unlimited time, so they don't mind listening to it on YouTube and listening to the ads.
Oh, yeah. See, I keep forgetting about the ads too.
Yeah, because they have a bunch of ads where we don't have those ads. We just listen to whatever we ever want to listen to.
You got me spoiled, Door. See, in case you guys didn't notice, Door sponsors my YouTube Red and Google Play Music account. So I, I, and if he ever divorces me, I think I'm gonna have to go subscribe. That might be one subscription I will have to. I don't know. At this point, I can't live without it. My wife did bring home 3 boxes of albums the other day, though. So
Okay.
I don't know. There's some classics if you like the classics. I
Well,
don't, but
I have all the classics on my phone.
yeah, yeah, me too. Right. And our record player has a Bluetooth. So I could Bluetooth into our record player if I really wanted to hear those songs. I didn't need to buy the actual album.
You can hear the songs on your phone.
I know, but if I wanted to hear them out the speakers hooked up to a turntable,
No,
I
too
could
much
I
like
could Bluetooth
work.
too. Oh yeah,
TM
no. Bluetooth's
TM
not much work.
TMLW. No, you got to take the album out. You got to blow all the dust off of it.
Oh,
Got to
that
put
is.
it on the
Yes,
player.
yes.
Yeah, too much like work.
I could pull up any album that she's got in those cases and
Yeah.
play it on the same device she's about to play it before she's
Uh-huh.
ready.
Yeah. I know.
They, to be honest, they didn't cost her nothing. They were given to her, so
Right. Well,
there's
yeah, and that's the thing about YouTube Red. It's convenience. It is utter convenience, and that trumps almost everything in this world today.
and you can see just how weird Steve Perry actually looked.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say, think of me sponsoring your YouTube Red as bribery for you to keep coming out to this show, Eric.
Well, I know that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, because it works. You're here.
Here I am.
Right. Now, do you want to tell us about your experience reloading this device? Because I don't think it was easy, if I'm not mistaken.
Reloading it with
Well,
apps?
well, you got the device, and then I was asking you before the show, do you restore? And then you said, well, I'll save that for the show.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I kind of mentioned it a second ago. I don't restore. No, I start straight over again. I install app one APK at a time as I feel that I need them. Like today, I just realized, oh, I don't have my bank installed on the phone, so I downloaded the bank app and installed it. LastPass. I mean, the first app I install is LastPass.
Ding.
After that, it makes it a lot easier. So then, um, if any of you are still writing down or trying to remember your passwords for all the stuff that you do, LastPass, I believe, is $12 a year.
Yes and no. They turned a lot of those paid features into free features.
Right. Yeah, they did. But
Yeah.
I still keep paying them because once you have LastPass, LastPass is like Google Play Music for me. I don't see a point unless there's a major hack or something very bad happens to me personally that I will not stop giving LastPass money every year.
Well, and I'll just say this to everyone who's right now screaming at their player in the form. There has been hacks, many hacks to LastPass, but you've never heard of an actual breach of data. You've never heard about passwords actually being exposed in the wild. You've never actually heard from them, you have to change your password, because all the hacks that have happened to them have been grazing the app, not actually getting their teeth sunk into it. Now, here's the real logic behind it. Guys like Steve Gibson, I disagree with a hell of a lot of time. Here's the reason why he uses LastPass and I use LastPass versus all these other solutions, OnePass or whatever the hell you want to call them. I don't care, whatever. The reason is they by default have immense more security because all those other solutions, you have to administrate your own password vault, which means you have to copy it from device to device to device, which means you have to really should be auditing anything that touches those devices. And you people out there don't audit your devices. So for all you know, somebody took a copy of that vault off one of your devices. Now they have the ability to do offline attacks against that password to their heart's content. They can devote Amazon EC2 cloud infrastructure processors to just banging on that vault till they get that password right. That does not happen with LastPass. Bottom line is the word security in the English language should be defined as setting a barrier of trust. And bottom line, if you don't trust LastPass, then you yourself have to become a full-fledged FIPS 2 level 2 type security auditing specialist. And if you don't want to be that role, then don't tell us how one password is better because I don't have to trust the company log me in. We Security is trust. Security means you have to trust somebody. You trust the kernel developer of your operating system. You trust the apps that you log into. You trust the application, the password application you use to manage your passwords. We decide to trust people when we give them money because we are the customers. You trust your own security auditing expertise? I guess. I don't know. Because I can tell you right now, our passwords are 10 times more safe than your passwords because we know they're being audited. And to literally get into the place where all these things are stored, you need multi-factor authentication and get by people with guns.
So yeah, let me add on to that too. I remember myself before LastPass, and so if I'm logging into a website or an app, I had the same 4 passwords,
Yeah.
and I would type every single one of those 4 in until I got it right. So if it was a nefarious app or website, now they have all 4 of the passwords I use everywhere because I can't remember more than 4 passwords.
Right.
I know it's got to be one of those 4. Now I have no flipping idea what my password is. It's crazy, unbelievably sophisticated, and it's never going to get guessed. And I'm never going to use it in the same place twice. And if I log into some place nefarious and they do get that password, it's not used on my bank account over here or my email address over there or this and this. It's always different. And here was a little creepy factor though. I was thinking about this with the phone switchover. So, like I said, I felt I instigated the phone freeze up reboot loop
Mm.
on the 5X. They, you know, nicely sent me a new one. I also quickly sent the old one back to them. My worry is at what point in my process of restoring to factory default
Right.
did it go, and could my information still be on that phone when they get it, and how hard would it be to look at everything? I'm a government official. There's
Right.
some sensitive data. That creeps me out.
Oh, and it
But
should.
but it was after it was erased. I mean, it was erased. It was starting over. But honestly, I am I could have without drilling a hole through the middle of it. I mean, should I treat a phone like a hard drive now? If one goes bad, is there any way to know that it's all not going to be able to be brought back up? LastPass gives
Um,
me that security too a little bit, just because they have to get that one password. A lot of the things they wouldn't actually get to log into.
well, you can melt your phone in acid, maybe.
But
And
then
I'll
I'm not going to get my refund back on the money for
right,
the exchange.
right, and I'll add this. I don't trust anything forever. Okay. Right now, I trust LastPass. They have not given me a reason not to trust them.
Right.
Every single one of these hacks has not been a hack. They've been code mishaps that have been not severe, not critical, and they've been fixed really quick. I don't trust Log Me In. Log Me In told me I would have unlimited free capabilities to log into remote computers till the year 2020. Well, they changed that on me. So I don't trust them as a company, but right now I trust LastPass. But I do have on one device the standalone application called LastPass Pocket. LastPass Pocket allows me to download my LastPass vault and keep it offline. So like once a week, I download it and I refresh that just so,
Do you do that once a week?
yeah,
Is that
once a week.
because you make that many passwords throughout a week?
I always at least make one password or change one password throughout the week. It seems
Hmm.
like always. And it's because I got to keep trying all these different things. And
And
that's my excuse. I try different things because it's a habitual disease I have.
and
Let's
then
not
you
kid ourselves.
so then you would open up that LastPass pocket to see your vault with your same LastPass password?
Yeah, it's the exact same creds. I hit update, it then downloads the entire database to my local drive. Then I encrypt it. Then I put it on my own cloud, which I own in a in a blob that gets dispersed to multiple computers that I own.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, don't get
but
me wrong, Dora. I mean, at some point, I'm gonna get creeped out by LastPass, and I'm gonna
yeah,
leave them.
same
And
here.
at some point, I'm gonna get creeped out by Google, and I'm gonna leave them.
Well, what are you going to go to?
Well, I don't know what it is. I'm not there yet.
Windows Phone?
I'm a little creepy every now and then. I get a little creeped out by Google. They haven't they haven't pushed me over the edge. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I would hope that there would be some kind of a, big net that I could fall right into. "Oh, this is the new thing. Oh, I'm
Oh,
here,
well,
here we are on, Meta App Addicts.
no,
We're on the Meta OS."
maybe you can get the essential phone. Wait, that was a joke. Sorry.
Is
I
it available
understand.
on Project Fi?
No, it's going to be available only exclusively through Sprint. Yeah,
Mm.
you can buy unlocked from him straight. He'll work on anything. But so please, I beg people, don't send us an email stating that one pass or whatever or key pass is safer because in a head-to-head independent evaluation team, they will determine the likelihood is about the same.
Don't
Period.
send us an email that it's safer, but if you have used LastPass and you're now using OnePass or Pass for All or One Word, and you say, "Hey, y- this is so much better because," let us know that. I'm always
Well,
open.
here's the reason why I don't like almost any of those other things because then you have to trust your clipboard because 99% of the time you copy paste your password and user ID from that application to the app. So the app just so the app that wants to get your passwords just needs to monitor your clipboard and they have
Mm.
it. So there everything has its weakness. Nothing is perfect. This is computing we're talking about. Nothing is perfect. But right now on this date, July 12th or whatever, 15th,
15th.
15th, 2017, I have no reason, zero reason whatsoever to not have faith in LastPass because they haven't been hacked yet. And all of the breakages they had haven't killed anybody or hurt anybody. But am preemptively backing my store up because that day is inevitable. Might be tomorrow, might be 10 years from now. But for now, I'm still using the damn app.
And
And I
that's
rely on it. I love it. Honestly, I love the damn thing. I create a new account, it automatically pops up and says, "We just saw you create a new account. Do you want us to save it?" Why,
Mhm.
yes, I do. Thank you.
Yes. Now that the LastPass Pocket, that backs it up to your phone?
No, no, on a desktop.
Okay. Alright.
So yeah, have it only on one, and on that, I purposely do not click save my email or save my password. I have to put everything in every time.
Yeah, that's something too. When you got LastPass, you can start to move away from that because I would normally do that, and I still do. I find myself doing that more than I should. I got to stop doing that.
Right now, I would love it when username and passwords die, because that's the thing that's really going to save us. Because username and passwords by default are unsafe because they're guessable. They use normal characters,
Mm.
and they're always linked to something like an email account. So all you got to do is get silent access to my email account, go to any website and say reset password. You don't even have to hack my LastPass. You don't even have to hack my password manager. You just have to hack my email address. Then you can have access to it as well. And I won't even know it's broke till I go to access that new site or service again. So when we move away from username and passwords, that's when I'll actually be happy or happier.
Oh, me too. I don't know what it is yet, but it's coming sometime.
Yeah.
Silicon Dream in the chat room is asking, and I don't know the answer to this. How does LastPass move the credentials to a site login boxes? I
In
mean,
the
it
browser,
automatically does for me, but
yeah. In the browser, it's reminiscent of keyboard macros. It
mm,
knows where the cursor's at. It knows when it's in a password field, and it basically just shoves them in there. On the mobile phones, at least on Android devices, it uses a thing called accessibility. Now, this is a security risk people are saying on the current version of all Android devices, where if you grant the wrong application access to the accessibility features, then it will be able to pick up on usernames and passwords being typed into hidden fields.
that's the write over, right? Where it's writing over a part of the screen that's being displayed.
Exactly. Yes. So again, nothing is perfect, but I do think it's easier for any application to just monitor the clipboard than it is to actually dig
Mm.
into. Now, if you have corrupt or evil browser plugins on your desktop, there is probably ways it can do it. It can probably get it. But I'll say this, I run Linux. Do I need to say the rest? Because I'm not a targeted system. Every time I even try to download bad things to see what they do on my computer, nothing bad happens because I don't run Windows. And my phone is the biggest target because it runs Android. But until, ransomware really becomes a true reality on mobile devices, then I don't have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how a company like Project Fi handles a customer who says, "My phone says my phone won't do anything. It's got a red screen that says I need to send bitcoins to somebody." Well, how will the customer service handle that? That I love. I love the customer service now, but
Yeah.
how will that be handled? I'm curious.
Well, on Google devices, you can click when you first log in to do backups. Okay.
Mhm.
Google can guarantee you a certain amount of data that right now, if you hit on your device, reset data, and it will bring back a certain percentage of your info just like it was before.
But say that this ransomware blocks inbound and outbound traffic somehow. It turns off
Um,
your Wi-Fi, turns off your
a lot
and
of phones have hidden safe mode that they don't tell you about, which is like the Windows safe mode, which I firmly believe the ransomware will not be able to get into.
oh, okay.
And then of course, worst case scenario, turn it off, bring it to a place, connect it to a computer, go into boot to recovery mode, flash a new image, voila. Worst case scenario, but it's almost like Chromebooks. Android devices are getting more secure like Chromebooks to where it's really difficult for them to be actually infected. With most Chromebooks, as soon as you reboot, if there is any corrupt add-ons and stuff, it just gets rid of them.
Nice. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm looking to purchase some Chromebooks sometime soon.
well, don't get the new Samsung Intel one because it's $1,000. Um, do you have any other apps you call like? Because you just said LastPass is the first app you install. I will say it is the first app I install. Period. Just because I'm going to have to log into apps, and there's no easier better way to do it for us. Do you have any other apps you would say? Because my logic is if I get a new phone I don't restore, I'm going to install at least 20 apps that day, that first day.
Yeah, I do, and I do. Um, no, I got one called NOAA Weather Unofficial Pro. I like that one. It's very dependable weather app, especially at these times. With the tornadoes and crap like that. Scanner Radio Pro. Do you want me
Okay,
to put
well,
these links in here? I could,
just
yeah.
take them one at a time. Number
Yeah. All
one.
right. Okay.
Okay, first off, there is a free version of the NOAA Weather Unofficial by Granite
There is.
apps. I'm going to make sure there's a link to that one in the notes. I still, Eric, it's like, um, you know,
Are you Steve C and me on this? You're
no,
like,
no, 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 no. I'm just going to put it like this. Other cultures around the world eat cat and dog. I don't understand them people either. Weather, weather apps. What I don't understand is on my device, at least I still use the Google Now launcher. I just go to the side and I go down just a little bit and
"Hmm,
there's my weather.
I know,
So
but
what, what does that not do?
our weather gets very granular. It's
Oh, you're special.
our storms are small but mighty. They're like take it yesterday. It did not rain here, but my wife got downpoured on at work.
Yeah,
If
that's
I would be on my
normal. That's everywhere.
if I would be on my bicycle, I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I don't always drive in a car everywhere I go. I like to walk and ride my bike and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, how far does your wife work from you?
15 miles.
Okay, because every time I open the app in Android for the weather, it's less than like 3 miles away from where I'm at. So I mean, and I've seen it multiple times where I'm standing in one place and across the street it's raining and it's not raining where I'm at. So I understand what you mean by granular, but there's no way they're going to know the even side of the street, you getting hail. The odd side of the street, you getting rain. There is no app that's going to be able to tell you that until it's already happened, I would think.
Well, that's what the radar pictures show you where it is and which way it's going.
So, okay, now I'm pulling a Steve C in you. So you're telling me the same thing that you'll be able to tell by looking up in the sky from the radar image. You just look up in the sky.
You can't look 30 miles to the west and see what's going to hit you in 10 minutes.
Well, there's still no guarantee it's going to hit you in 10 minutes.
There's not.
Weather's
Okay.
complicated.
Okay. My next app is not.
Well, I'll say this. This is a pretty app. This is a very pretty app. And honestly, I like the grid approach to time to where you can
Yeah,
very easily scroll hour by hour by hour. That's a really nice touch.
that's stolen off the NOAA website.
That's okay.
They do that.
Well, great people imitate by theft or whatever the word was. I can't remember, something like that.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
And
Like that.
sometimes get you sued, yes. So what's your next one?
Okay. Okay, my next one is gonna be, and I almost hate to say this one.
Oh, here we go. Come on, bring it to me,
Okay,
baby.
it's called Scanner Radio Pro, and
Okay.
I'm giving you the free version. You can tell that I really like them because I'm saying the Pro and upgrade and all. I pay for all these apps because that's how much I like them. So this basically, it says you can listen to live audio from over 6,300 police and fire scanners and amateur radio and trains and stuff like that. Basically, if you don't want to go out and buy a scanner and put an antenna on your roof, you can just have this streaming through your Wi-Fi. If you're into listening to cops and um, EMS.
Well, here's my real question for you. Is this truly purely and just entertainment, like watching the TV show Cops and laughing at people? Because the town you live in, I've never seen with my own eyes, but I have to believe there isn't a lot of exciting action going on. Or if there is, you might know who's involved.
Right. This goes hand in hand with the weather rate with the rough weather thing. Basically, you're listening to hear where the trees are getting uprooted and laying across the streets during a storm.
Okay, that does make sense because I know you get the occasional twisters.
Yeah, and that's about it. I mean, I might keep it on in the background, but what's really fun is like listening to Chicago, and it's just nonstop crazy
Well,
stuff happening, and or any large town. You just get to hear what a day in the life is for a metropolitan police officer, and just the crazy stuff they're dealing with every single second.
well, yeah. I remember when we were in Chicago, literally, literally, maybe every hour there was 30 seconds where I didn't hear a siren of some kind.
Yeah, and you were right up against the lake, so you were only half. You know, it was only town was only on half of your peripheral. You know.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that made me feel better was I never saw crime happening right around me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yes, it was kind of ridiculous. And I do understand the entertainment purpose of it. It's just like I don't want to say ham radio because that's more of a conversational thing, but
Right.
it's more like the people who watch public television to see school related stuff on there. It is a form of entertainment and information kind of thing. Me, I'm the kind of storm guy. I don't care. I literally don't care about anything. My only worry is tomorrow morning, can I go to work? Oh, don't? Okay, good. I don't have to go to work. Um, and that's it because I have enough substance and I'm in no way, shape, or form a prepper of any magnitude. I got food for more than a couple days. And if there is really that kind of damage where there's more than a couple days where I'm not going to be able to go somewhere, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have help available to me.
No, I'm just should I go out in my aluminum canoe into a body of water, or should I stay home and do something else that day? And
And my
my
answer is always the canoe. Ain't there bugs and stuff out there?
yeah, there it is. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, here's another one. This is called Keyring.
Oh yeah, we brought this one a long time ago.
And probably, I mean, maybe there's better ones than this. It works really well for me, and it's got all my cards stored from phone to phone to phone. All I do is put in the app, log in, and bam, there's all my gift and you discount cards for every place I shop at.
Well, see, I'm the guy. Most of the stores I go in, when they ask my phone number, I say 867-5309,
Mhm. Yeah, that's fine.
just
As long as I'm gonna get the 30 cents off that package of hot dog buns, I don't care who my name is or where my phone number is. I mean, my
right.
name's just in case every time,
Well,
you know?
that's one thing. In this store, Play Store, the video is unavailable
See
for
that
the app.
that's when it got good.
I
It
guess. My issue was when I had this was early on. At least 50% of the places I went, their scanners didn't work on my phone. And it might have been my phone, but it just didn't work. And it got me to the point where, well, I can't trust it.
So, why do you need I don't even let them scan my phone. I just read the number off and they type it in. I'm not worried
I don't
about
like I don't like talking to people.
Do you have
That
those things dangling off your keys
no,
then?
I don't. I always say 867-5309. That's my phone number because I don't care about any of their things. I don't want
Oh,
to
so
be in
you
their
so you get the discount
databases.
by just giving a number, a phone number.
A fake phone number, which is the old song
No,
Jenny
yeah.
with my number. Now my wife carries them around. She does what she wants to do. I mean, I don't volunteer. Just like I don't go to Walmart. But if the wife says, "Hey, let's go to Walmart," I'm going to Walmart. But if it's me, I don't go to Walmart. I
Right.
don't personally give up any of my information to any of these databases that exist. I just don't.
I don't care. I trust Google. You know, I've got a microphone in my pocket that's always on. I don't care. I I did get $5 off of whatever I wanted to spend the other day,
Right.
and I got like 5 cents off a gallon of gas. You know, things like that. You know, I'm taking what they're giving because I'm working for a living door.
Yes, you do. And we do get the gas thing because every time we go food shopping, she gives it to us. But here's the thing: we don't take we don't take the discount on our gas anymore because we're losing money. What she figured out was she could say, instead of giving us 20 cents off per gallon,
Uh-huh.
they will offer us $2 off right now on the ticket for the food. And since the car we have, the most I ever put in the tank is like $15. I cannot put more than $15 in the tank. So for me to do their deal at the tank instead of getting $2 off because I can't put 10 full gallons in, I'm missing out. So she always takes the
So
discount on the
you
food.
get your choice either or, huh?
Yeah. Well, that's
Oh.
new. That's
Oh.
new. That started in our Redner's warehouse market maybe a couple months ago. Yeah, but
All
this
right.
is the kind of app I can see everyone once they have it installed, they always have it installed.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna stop there, and we'll let you give you your essentials. We are running a little long.
Oh, if you
We
say
we don't
so.
have Mark to rein us in tonight. That's good though. We sometimes we just gotta let it go and
Okay,
get
well,
this out.
the first I will say first again, always and forever. LastPass, number one, always. Um, Number two, I'm going to mention an app I now uninstall every time, and that is Google Plus app.
Yeah.
On the Google Plus app, I uninstall it because it I have multiple accounts on every device. I literally have sometimes 5 accounts logged in on one device, and it keeps wanting me to use the other accounts on Google Plus and on Google Maps. On Google Maps, I got it settled down, but on Google Plus, it kept insisting for me to open the app as a different user, and it kept putting notification shade things. You might like this. So I basically just uninstalled it completely. I now just open my browser and go to plus.google.com, and I get the virtually identical experience and speed that, except I get no notifications, which I'm fine.
Yeah.
X number of times a day, I just open my browser, click the little icon that's already there, bam, go right to the plus, and I get everything I need to do. So that's one that I got rid of. And I also now do not install any package tracking applications.
Mm.
All I do is I open up my web browser, I go to whatever service that does the tracking, whether it's USPS.com, UPS.com, or whatever. I go to the results of the tracking page. I go to the top 3 dots in the corner menu, and then I click Save Shortcut on Desktop. So while that package is in transit, I have a little icon right on my desktop. I just tap it once, it opens up, and it tells me what is the current status of the application. So I don't get notifications again, but I can very easily in one click right now see at 9:06 p.m. it was in Hagerstown, Maryland, and it departed. So I personally have no use case now for tracking applications on my
Nice.
device.
That's
Uh,
good. That's a good tip right there.
it's
That I don't ever pin anything to my desktop on my Android device, and I should start doing that, especially like the plus.google.com website.
Yeah, there are certain things that I just think now are unnecessary. AppWererabbit was one of the ones I mentioned earlier. That's to where you can very easily share, export, backup APKs. The other one I'm going to say is App Dragon. What App Dragon is, it's a very easy way for someone to ask me about an app I use. So then I open up App Dragon, and in one click, I click the icon of the app. Then I can hit the copy button, and then I have the full name and the full URL to that app stored
Mm,
in my clipboard. Then it's very easy for me to share that app with anybody in seconds, literally
that's nice.
seconds. Yeah. And since that's what I do, that's what I do. So it just
Yeah,
works.
you just
And if
guilted me into installing that one. That's for sure.
Well, and here's the other thing I like. I do what you do now, Eric. I wasn't going to tell you this.
Aw.
This is one of my little secret things here. When I do a nuke and pave or I get a new device, I go into AppWererabbit. I don't select anything, and I click the email icon in the top corner, and it sends me an email, every app name with a direct URL to it. So then on the new device, I open up that email and I go down the line, and then I think, don't install, don't install, don't install, install, don't install, don't install, don't install, install. And I just, keep going down the line until I'm satisfied with what I have so far, kind of thing. And I'm still not out of the A's, people, because that's just the way I roll.
Now Google used to do that. I must have hit something different because it used to be I think maybe I used to hit restore, but not restore all, and I would be able to select each one that I had installed.
I think that
Um,
was the default behavior back then, but then they did change it on us. Um, Let me think, Eric, because there's
oh,
a sorry.
well, while you're thinking, I do want to mention with Android O, a feature that I can't wait for everybody to have because I really enjoy it, and that's the picture in picture for YouTube.
Ooh,
Basically, yeah, when you minimize it, it'll go down on the corner of your screen, kinda like you do,
mhm.
when your YouTube Red, you have it small, but now you can just drag that anywhere in your phone
Ah,
and watch it and go and then you're just flipping through your other apps, doing whatever you want. If it's in the way, just slide it over, move it over here, and just keep going.
very cool. I'm gonna say the one of the next apps I have to install is Google Goggles,
Mhm.
and I install Google Goggles out of sheer laziness. Like when I'm at the store and I want to know, can I get this online for less or whatever? I just open up Google Goggles, hit take a picture, and it instantaneously tells me where it's available at. And
Has it
then
has it stopped it seemed like it stopped working for me, if I remember right.
I do believe there was some kind of change to where you had to basically like reopen and authenticate it to have access to your camera because what now also is you can take a picture with your regular camera, quote unquote regular camera,
That's what it was. Yes.
and it will work. But once in a while you have to open up the app and it will say, uh, can we access your um, camera? Can we access your gallery kind of thing?
Yeah, because Google Goggles stopped working, and they were urging me to use my camera and then holding down the home button and using like the
Yeah,
assistant, and the
yeah,
assistant would scan the picture I took
right.
and try to do what Google Goggles was doing, and it didn't work as well.
Yeah, I had very mixed results when I tried to use Google Assistant for it. And the next app I'm going to say I install on all my devices. It is a unbelievably selfish application. And
Google Goggles has not been updated since May 28th of 2014.
wow, that is a long time.
Yeah.
Hmm, still works for me.
Yeah,
Maybe
try it
my
again.
version because I'm not on O. Um, but the next app I install on everything is Mattermost, and that's because via the help of FCJ in the chat, we host a Mattermost instance on a digital ocean droplet, which basically means on a server we have complete control over. We have this software running that is almost like IRC or like AIM chat rooms, only it looks better. There are no trolls in there. People can speak freely about whatever they want to speak about, and there's no Google search inside of it. So whatever you say in there basically stays in there. Um, you can easily share YouTube video links and see full previews. You can easily share images back and forth. You can have direct message chats. You can have group chats. You can have multiple channels, name the channels, or you can have private channel type chats with people. Um, if you want to be a member of the Podnutz community in this chat server, just shoot me an email at mail@podnutz.com and I can make it happen.
I think every time I get a new phone, we need to do this review of our most needed apps show. Just so, like, I don't think I had any of these installed that you're telling me, and I'm installing as we go because I forget about apps.
Well, that's why I love my app dragon app. Um, the next one I'm sure you're not going to install, Eric. This is another self-serving app. On the Podnuts network, we just started up a new show called The Makers, and it's a 3D printer slash CNC slash maker type podcast where there's literally 7 people on the show. Any of the 7 people have more experience than I have in all 3 of those things: printing, CNCing, and just making like custom IoT solutions kind of thing. Um, and this was one of the apps they introduced me to, and it is a uh, creator designer app called Onshape, Onshape. Um, the Android app is just as functional as their full-fledged app, but their full-fledged desktop app is just runs in the browser. So
Hmm.
you can go to cad.onshape.com, I believe, click create a login, and then they have 3 tutorials you can go through to learn a lot of the basics of the planes of existence, how you can draw your 2D objects, different techniques you can use to measure, to manipulate, to make perfect circles, to make shapes, and then to extrude out to the third layer, or to or to do a subtractive extrusion to take stuff away to make holes in object, all kinds of things. Um, the gimmick with the application is for free, everything you create is public visible, period. So if you're a private business starting to do 3D stuff, you don't want to use this app, or you want to pay the fee to have your uh or you pay the fee to have your creations private. But since everything I do is going to be for the show, I don't care. It's going to be public. You can, and of course, everything I make is going to be called like Raspberry Pi case dash Podnutz. So the logic is anytime you want to see what the show's doing that I'm doing, you just go into on on shape, search for Podnutz, and you'll see all the different things.
Very cool. Yeah, this is exciting stuff here, man. I'm pretty psyched. I should introduce this to to my wife and my daughter for that matter, because she's an engineer. You know,
Oh well,
she uses CAD every day.
right. Well, and okay, here's the thing, Eric. Unlike the incredible immaturity of VR applications, because they are. I mean, we're looking at the apps, they can't even walk yet. They're stumbling.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because they're that new.
Yeah.
This software has sneakily gotten a kickstart because like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 6 years ago, when I was in high school taking computer aided design drafting or CAD, the software they used back then, they were able to take a lot of the basics of that and then just add more functionality into the third dimension. So all the software I'm finding to do these 3D models are unbelievably mature and smooth and solid and not buggy. I'm blown away. You can
Nice.
literally make a um a um um a engine on your Android device with this application. Now, I will say the number one, it seems like application is Windows and Mac only, called Fusion 360 from Autodesk. Autodesk is the big CAD company.
Yeah, yeah, they
So,
own AutoCAD, which was, like, kind of one of the originals.
right. So Fusion 360 is the one that a lot of people use. I can't run it on Linux, so I don't run it. So this is my option for now,
Nice.
at least.
Yeah, that's cool. I've listened to the Maker's Show, and I tell you what, you guys are so they're 3D printing their own CNC machines, so now that they have both kinds of, ways to produce things.
And that is the crazy thing you can do. You can use first thing, I got a 3D printer. It's in my garage. It's
Yeah,
still in
good.
the box. It's still in the
Oh.
box. I just got it today, Eric.
Oh, congratulations.
They begged me not to do this show tonight,
Oh.
but I did do this show tonight. So I did. But here's the dirty secret. When I put it together, when I get it printing right, which might take anywhere from 10 to 3 million test prints, but when I get it printing right, the first like 20 things I'm going to print are things to better that printer, enhancements to that printer.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
and then,
we're off
sorry.
the subject and we're off the show. I need to know so can you just tell me or give us a link of the 3D printer that you bought? Just so I know? Just me and you, nobody else is really listening because this is an Android show, but I'm just really super curious.
Yeah. I went to GearBest. GearBest is a very popular website for buying things overseas. There is a US distributor that Liam knows. I can't remember the name of it. But what I bought was called the Cre Cre Creality 3D, and it's called the CR-10 desktop DIY printer. 389 bucks. When I bought it was like 360. There's coupon codes too, where if you really want to buy this, tune into the makers, shoot us an email. We'll find you a coupon code used to like save something on it.
Okay.
And it's literally comes in 3 pieces, where a lot of other kits come in like 2,000 pieces. This literally comes in like 3 pieces to put it together. So it's really easy.
Looks like kind of a large format one.
It is not a small one. You can do 200 by 200 by 300 millimeters, which turns out to be, I believe, 12 by 12 by 16
Nice.
inches. So it
And
is
I'm
pretty big.
surprised that you didn't get one with a box around it. The case,
You get that
exposed.
separately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get that separately. To cause you want to maintain constant temperature. What you do is you typically put these in, like, one of the guys put it inside a refrigerator, an old refrigerator. But what he found out was it insulated too
Too hot.
much, and
Yeah.
it got too hot inside there. But there's another US based one where you pay just a little bit more, but the guy does an extremely good job in making sure everything is updated and everything is absolutely right before he ships it out. Me, I saved money, so I went there. Now back to the app there.
Okay. Thank you.
The next app I always install on everything is my own cloud application. And the reason is, on a mini computer like the Raspberry Pi, but called the Banana Pi Pro, I have a instance of this ownCloud running. It's literally been running well over 16 months without ever being turned off. And it just runs. And that's where all of the show hosts connect to via like a Dropbox application on their desktop, drop files in their folders, automatically get synced to my server right here for me to do editing for the shows. So the first thing I install on my phone is my own cloud app. That allows me on my phone to access that from anywhere in the world, verify files are there, or copy files off. So it's basically like my own personal OneDrive, Google Drive, or Dropbox.
And I never install the application on my computer. I just use web interface every time. It works
But
really
well,
well.
yeah, yeah, it does. I keep telling myself I'm going to upgrade in air quotes to Next Cloud. I just never find the time to actually sit down and do it because it's going to take me at least a little bit of time. I'm going to throw out one more app out there, and everyone who knows me at all should already know what this next app is. It's Voxer,
Mm,
Voxer. Think of it as like old school AIM Messenger, but you can easily do voice clips, pictures, animated GIFs, short movies, or text to either individuals or groups of individuals. Um, I find it to be a really easy, painless way to just pick up my phone, hit the button, say a couple words, hit the button, and my message is off. It is almost frictionless in its workings, and I can tell you on any given day, if I ignore a chat, there is easily 100 messages that are not listened to. Like right now, since I started doing this show, there's over 15 messages I haven't listened to yet. I've
Oh,
missed.
and can I just say one more thing about the Makers Show? For longtime listeners who may have listened to other shows on this network, Liam Tidwell is one of the hosts on the Makers Show.
Mhm.
Worth the price of admission right there for those who used to listen to Nuts at Night or Unbootables and things like that.
Yeah, just good stuff. Really smart guy. Tons of experience. Obsessive passion is what I'm going to say. So I'm learning a lot on that show. One of the goals is I want to print out unique collectible trinkets, if you will, to give out at conferences.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. if everything goes right and I don't burn down my house. Number one thing, first thing you should buy with a 3D printer, even if you don't listen to the show, a smoke alarm to put above the printer because you never know.
Good tip. Hopefully
Yeah.
you'll never need it.
Of course. Yeah. That's a brief list of my must-have apps, but in normal, I'll say this, in normal neurotic door-to-door geek fashion, there's another 20 apps I didn't mention just because there's too many.
Maybe we could do a segment at for the next couple shows just to empty that tank of essential apps.
I don't know if you want to do that, Eric.
Well, if
There's a
people
lot.
want to know, and not everybody's been listening for 6 years. Or how long have we been doing this show? I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah. All I know is I looked up the other day. The anniversary of Linux for the Rest of Us was 7 years ago and 5 days or 6 days.
Mm.
The anniversary of the entire network was 2008. So it's going to be 10 years next February.
Wow. February, that's isn't there a conference somewhere in February? We'll have to make a big
This coming year, I honestly don't know.
all right. Well, do you want to finish it off now then? Or do you want...
I want to say thank you to Charlie, almost all alternative, who pledged to our Patreon campaign over at patreon.com/Android App Addicts.
Nice. Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, that's very cool. And thank you for the email too. And if you guys want to send us an email or a voicemail, we'd love to hear from you. And if you've got an essential app you want to share with us, first you'll email it to us. You'll be like, oh, this app is essential for me. And first we'll just come back and say, yeah, we brought that in episode 124. We'll feel all big about it, like putting you down that you're late or something. And then we'll actually read the rest of your email and say, oh, he was just trying to go along with our essential apps part.
Sure, if you say so.
That's how we act.
Yeah,
so don't be offended.
And we've been using Voxer now, I want to say, for nearly 5 years, Eric.
Yeah.
It's been at least 4 years.
I wonder if Sean's Voxer shirt has any holes in it yet.
I'm sure it's worn. But when I go into Google Play, I search for Voxer. I then click similar apps, see more. I'm seeing at least 40 apps. I've tried literally almost all of them. They all completely suck compared to Voxer, and Voxer is far from perfect.
Now, when I typed in Voxer beta came up. Is that the one I should install? I might as well, right?
I say no, but
I think your link actually took me to that too, though. So maybe it is still a beta.
No, when I click it, it says Voxer Walkie Talkie Messenger by Voxer Pro LLC.
Let me look and try this again. When I click it, it says Voxer Walkie Talkie Messenger beta.
I don't know. Maybe they know your device. Maybe it's an O only thing.
Oh, you know what? I may have. You know what? I had that app that got me into all the betas of every app on my phone. Did I bring that to the show?
I don't know.
It'll automatically. It'll tell you it'll go through all your phone. I'll bring that later. It goes through your phone, checks to see if there's a beta version of your apps, and then gives you the link to sign up.
Are you sure you want to do that for like every app?
I don't know why my phone was so slow and it went into a boot loop. I have no idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll have Mark back here next week, and Door's got one more thing.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, do not forget, everybody, you can send us a voicemail, 7076 Podnut. That's 7076 Podnut. If you want to send us an email, do not forget aaa@podnuts.com is very easy to remember. If you want to get higher prioritized communications, it's very easy. Go to patreon.com/Android App Addicts, become a pledger, and right there you can send us messages. I have no problem saying out loud. They get the priority every time. And I want to thank everyone for downloading. Thank everyone for sharing. Thank everyone for telling their friends about the show. We, as a show, have to keep growing because every single show we lose a listener or two. That's just how podcasts go, and we need to keep making sure that we get more people. So once in a while, tweet us, Facebook us, IRC us, Google Plus us, Instagram us, um, Pinterest us, even whatever. Just make sure people once in a while see our link.
And face to face, you know what is starting to work more too, because people actually know what a podcast. I met a guy the other day who listens to podcasts, and I don't know, maybe it's different in Maryland where you're at, but that's a rare thing. He actually knew what they were. He mentioned some shows that I know very well, and yeah, it was a good conversation.
Were
And
they were they popular shows? You think?
yeah, yeah, they were. They were shows that I've been with. Well, it was Twit, and he had been watching them on Tech TV just like I was. This is a pastor of a Salvation Army church. Very real cool dude.
Yeah, Twit still gets the numbers no matter what people think.
Well, Android App Addicts will help one more listener possibly from him, so that's cool. And if he's listening at this late in the show and he hasn't given up already, good. It was nice to meet him. All right, well, we will see you guys next week. We'll get Mark back here hopefully. Thanks, guys. Whoa, that was weird. Still there, Door?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Okay. My
You
browsers are going wacky.
you still there?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am right here. I still haven't installed my Audacity though because I'm a slacker. Slacker. Now what I gotta do, first off, save the project. That's what you're supposed to do. Documents. This is 471. 71. First save the project. Then I gotta go back. Very, very, very beginning of the episode. I tapped the mic. I hit the boom arm. That's what I did.
I didn't notice.
It was before we started to record. I did this. I
Oh,
like
okay.
pushed it out of the way. That recorded as a very high amperage, so I gotta go de-amplify it. Or if I go do the post processing thing, it's gonna be a factor. What goes on? So now,
Yeah, it would have been difficult for me to do the show if I had a 3D printer sitting in my garage.
Well, I showed the wife on the way home how many hours of leave I have. It's right now over 8 weeks of leave.
Wow.
I have no, that's not a lot, Eric. I,
Yeah.
I've had many
And
more than that.
it is
Um,
when I've got two, and that's the most I've had in a long time.
well, I now earn more than 6 weeks a year leave. I tried to explain to people, well, yes, but I've worked there for 20 years
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm due for another bump this October, I believe, in my leave. Uh, so I'm taking off tomorrow. I'm taking off all next week because we're in Florida. Then the first Monday back, I have to take off for my oldest son. And then the day after that, Tuesday, I got to take off for my youngest son. So it's going to be almost 3 weeks off. And I'm still going to have 5+ weeks of vacation because when I'm gone, I'm still going to be earning vacation.
Nice.
That's the thing about state time, or that's the thing about government time. As long as you don't get whopped without pay and you take leave to take off, you're going to still accrue leave at the same time. I like that.
Yeah.
I got to document all these apps. I can't do it with just two people on the show. And honestly, if you didn't notice, I can't even watch the chat. There's only two people in the show because I can't, because I'll miss everything. I mean, the brain just isn't meant to do four things at once. It hurts my head. So this one was a D2D. I did the first app. I mentioned AppWererabbit. It's one of those apps I literally I have to have installed. Because when I find an app and I find it does something perfect that I know is a workflow that I just cannot go without, I back up the APK. Because I never know where they're gonna feel butthurt and the next version take that feature away and say, well, now you gotta pay us for that feature.
Yeah. No, it could happen.
Oh, I've seen it happen too much. LastPass, I'm gonna give you credit for. You did mention it. And I didn't, honestly, I don't know if I was gonna mention it until you mentioned it. And I was like, yeah, yeah.
Well, shoot.
I know we're going to get at least one email on how, well, technically, super duper password is safer because it
And
uses.
and it cleans your memory, and
Yeah,
it does memory sweeping.
yeah, right. That's a dirty secret. Anything that has to, most of them use your clipboard, and that is a really, really bad way to do it, especially on desktops.
My ownCloud is not coming up again. Why can't I can't even find it in my history from 2 weeks ago.
Well, no, man, that's why I told you to install the desktop app. You gotta find it. I messed up one of yours. I messed up a generic link. So let me copy, post, show app. Da, 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 da. Change that to generic. Save. Go back up. New app. Paste. No, I do that. I didn't do all that. And then in Florida, at least in Florida, I understand better why guys like Steve are like, why do you need a weather app? Because I already know we're going to go to
So
Disney
yeah,
every single day between 11:30 and 4:30. It's going to pour down rain for anywhere from 30 seconds to 5
30
10
minutes.
minutes. Well, I don't know if I've ever seen it go 30 minutes, but yeah. And it's going to stop, and then it's going to get completely dry in like, and anywhere from 30 seconds to a couple minutes, everything will be perfectly dry. It's too damn hot.
I need your server link in one of the chats here.
Okay, as soon as I'm done documenting, I got the flow kicking.
Cool. Yeah. It doesn't change much in Florida.
Well,
Here we go. I mean, we had like 80-degree weather in February, and then all of April was like really super cold, and then now we finally got summer. My pool's warm. It's up. It's good. I was in it last night. It looked like it was going to rain, never did.
Right. Well, I'll say I understand if there's a approaching storm kind of thing, you know, hurricane or something, why you would want a nap. But Steve C was always
Oh yeah. Yeah.
we get hurricanes here every now and then, so I can see why you would want it. We don't. I mean, with us, honestly, here's the thing: we know we've lived here long enough. Every weatherman is completely wrong. When they say it's going to snow, we know. Okay, it's going to be anywhere from nothing to 3 feet, and they're not going to know until it actually starts to fall. Even then, there's still a chance they're wrong, kind of thing. Yeah, they never guess us right ever, ever.
Hmm. Yeah, they're about 50% here.
I think part of the reason is we have the bay right here,
Sure.
affects weather, and then 95. Okay, for you on the map, the Chesapeake Bay, Baltimore and stuff. 95 parallels that.
Mhm.
So quite literally 90% of the time, the difference between snow and rain is I-95. So it matters which side that you live on
Yeah.
determines what you're going to get.
We got that. It's called I-80. It's actually it's a road that goes from, I think it goes from the East Coast to the West Coast. If I wanted to go go to Denver, I just jump on it.
Right, go straight.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's funny how the roads become some kind of you know
Yeah.
defining thing between two.
And it's even it's also funny how yeah, they'll make fun of people, anybody who lives south of I-80 is such and such, you know.
Right. And I'll say home prices reflect it too. The closer you are below 95, the closer you are to military bases and stuff. So there
Mm.
will be more affordable housing. Always, always. And yes, that's where I live.
Here everything's affordable housing. There's still people, we're still buying houses for $30,000 all day long here. And they're houses. I mean, they're not mini homes or whatever those things.
Right. I was listening to Podnutz Pro as soon as somebody mentioned tiny houses. Matt Rainey went off
I
like he
bet.
he, he was triggered because it was something like per square foot. They're like 4 times more expensive than normal houses. People are stupid for getting them kind of attitude. I just laughed.
I want to watch the show, The Tiny House Purchased 3 years later. Are they still there?
Oh, my,
Is it a
more
pile
than
of junk? Do they
I,
have 8 sheds built up around it?
well, I'll say this. I watched a couple episodes of that show, not really many, but I really did appreciate the engineering that went on. You know what I mean? Oh, you flip
Yeah,
this up and you flip that
yeah.
over, and then voila, hey, that's pretty smart. But that's about it. I'll be damned if I live in one
Well, I'm like,
ever.
why wouldn't you just buy a fifth wheel?
I don't know. I just know I would never live in one. I don't care if I'm 90 years old. Everybody I ever known is dead. I'm still not living in one of these things. You know, Onshape is crazy powerful. Okay, it looks like it's done, Eric. Yeah, that
What's that?
Onshape, the file, it's been put in downloaded my box here. Uh, yeah, that Onshape thing. I was in disbelief how powerful that app was. Eh, I'm still no damn good at it, but I'm really impressed at how well it works.
Well, my wife says they've got a 3D printer at work that nobody uses.
Oh yeah, that's very common. I hear that
Yeah.
actually frequently as hell.
Oh, me
And,
too.
and it's partially because they don't know how to use it, and it's partially because they don't know how to tune it. I mean, um, what I'm gathering is tuning is needed, especially like every X number of hours of being ran. You really should do some maintenance on it, keep it tuned up. Also, the filament you buy is so often the determining factor on whether or not what you get out of it is crap or not. And people don't know. They just go click buy and buy it.
Yeah, eBay filament. We'll do that. Yeah, I wonder if you get some really, like dirty filament that just like clogs your nozzles and stuff.
Oh,
It's got a bunch of extra resin crap and
yeah.
like contaminants in it.
We forgot to do the end of show wrap up of apps, but the one that they always complain about is I always want to say Major Geeks, like the software downloading site,
Yeah.
but it's not Major Geeks. It's just like it.
Yeah, there was one we used to get stuff from. What was it?
Maybe Filament Geeks. Let me see. Maker Geeks.
Oh no, that's not. What it was.
Oh man, they go. I mean, you want to see somebody triggered?
Yeah.
You mentioned Maker Geeks filament to these guys, they will go off like a rocket on you. Oh my lord! Like here you go. I'll just go to. I don't want to go to their ABS filament. Pet G. They don't even have any. Oh, PLA. Okay, PLA filament. Let's just go 1.5. I don't know what I'm doing. $33 a roll. This is a ripoff. The one that they're telling me to go to, which is always, I mean, they say always, oh, perfect prints kind of thing. I literally bought it $9 a roll.
Huh.
For 1 kilogram, and that's what this is. 1 kilogram, $33, $18, $33.
Special color or something?
No, it's because these people are ripoff artists. They pay for SEO, I'm guessing, stuff like that. Wow. Wow. That's a lot of money, especially to be mad at when you buy it. Okay, let me see. How many? 12, 15, only 16. 16 messages behind, which is actually not bad for me. Okay. I have to now upload, but first let me come here. Over here.
Costco's got a 1-year membership and a $10 gift card for $60.
I had a chest freezer. I'd be all in on that. I ain't got no chest freezer.
I was at a store called Hy-Vee the other day, and one of the announcements was stop over to our appliance aisle where you can buy a chest freezer for $200, and we will give you $200 worth of coupons to fill it up of free food.
Alrighty.
That's exactly the same deal I got on my chest freezer.
Wow, that's a good deal,
15
man.
years ago, probably. 20, no, yeah, not probably 15 years ago.
Damn.
From a store called Eagles Foods. It's out of business now.
That's a good deal, though, man.
Mm-hmm. And it's still going. I mean, the seal was never perfect. It's a cheap freezer,
Right.
but it's still going. Works good.
Pictures? Yeah. No. Pictures? Yeah. Bang, bang. Okay, now we come here, copy. Here we did 10 apps, Eric.
Not even trying.
I know. And every other show that does, 5 apps. I don't understand. I don't understand people saying they're great. I listen to them too. Saying they're great. Their Patreon turns out they're getting, $20,000 a month. What? doing your ad-laden podcast, and people give him money. They're already making money. I don't think you understand what's going on here. E up. Yeah, that's like the ISPs think to charge you, the customer, and charging people like Google at the same time.
Whoa, hey dude, a second. I gotta go out. I gotta get out of here for just a second. I'll be right back. So I think this is one of those reasons I should have a weather app. It sounds like it's downpouring outside. It's like
Okay, so that is good. Okay, I'm gonna kill the stream here, guys. Dun, 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 dun.